This is Driftbin, and she is in desperate need of a new motor. But thankfully, I've got a spare one right here. But there's just one small problem. I've only got 48 hours until I need to be shredding tires in front of hundreds of people. And to make things worse, all my mechanic mates are busy and every workshop in the city seems to be booked.
Dude, you gotta give me more notice than that.
Nah, mate, you're dreaming.
Nah, no chance.
48 hours? Good luck, buddy.
But there was one mechanic available.
Yeah, look, I can get it done by Friday, but it'll cost you about $4 to $5 grand.
But that's with me supplying the engine.
Yeah, that's just for the labour. You fucking.
This is also probably a good time to mention that I've never done an engine swap before. So with no professional help and no idea what the fuck I'm doing, I'm left with my final resort. The all-knowing ChatGPT and my unemployed friend, Yorak Hunt.
Hello?
What are you doing?
Sleeping?
Do you want to come meet me at the warehouse, please?
Now?
Yeah.
You alright?
Brilliant. All right, see you soon, sunshine.
See you,
Bye.
man.
Well, at least I'm not doing it alone. So while Yorak's on his way, we're gonna get cracked into our GPT plan here. Okay, so it looks like we've got a basic layout of what we need to get done. But first up, I'll just ask it what we need from the shops. Man, that looks like a bit more than I wanted to spend, but I don't think I've got a choice here. So we're gonna trust the bot and yeah, grab a few things. So I went down to my local automotive store and picked up the following things with my AI-generated shopping list. With this, we had almost everything we needed to begin the engine swap. I hear him waffling, it sounds like he's here.
Where is this going?
Hello? Why are you recording?
I'm just recording for my own safety.
What do you think this is?
Slave labour by the sounds of it.
Mate, today, we're swapping this engine.
Do I have a choice?
Not really. All we're gonna do is put this new engine into Driftbin.
Oh, sounds easy on paper.
I've never done this before. You don't know what you're doing. So I got ChatGPT on my phone ready to go. It's gonna guide us through how to do this.
Well, lucky I wore a white shirt.
Can we get this in 48 hours?
It might take 47, but we'll get it in.
We'll make it work. All right, so got old mate on the phone here.
Let's turn that into a nice streamlined checklist.
Clanker.
No, don't. All right, we're just beginning. Can you explain the first step of getting this engine out to us?
Yeah, for sure. So the very first step to actually get that engine out is going to be all about prep. Basically, you want to disconnect the battery so you're not accidentally shorting anything out, and then you'll pull off the bonnet to give yourself heaps of room to work.
All right, bonnet's off, battery's disconnected, what now?
Next up, you'll want to get the front of the core up on jack stands so you've got a bit of clearance underneath. Then you can go ahead and drain the coolant and the oil. So basically, get it lifted, get it drained, and you'll be set for the next steps.
Okay, so car is up, oil drained, coolant out, what now?
Your next move is to start stripping off the front bits. That means pulling out the intake and air box so you've got clear access. Then you'll remove the fan and shrouds together. Once that's out of the way, you can disconnect the radiator hoses and lift the radiator out. Basically, you're clearing the whole front end so you've got heaps of room to work around the engine.
You know, despite our mechanical incapability, so far it's looking pretty good. I mean, we've still got, you know, a good few hours left to go, so I'm actually surprised with like how clued in the AI is with guiding us step by step. Like, it's actually going pretty good. We've cleared the front stuff and the intake. What now?
It's time to get those ancillaries off the engine. So you don't have to disconnect the lines on the power steering or AC. You can just unbolt those units and kind of tie them off to the side, so you don't have to rebleed or regas anything.
It's actually pretty smart.
Yeah.
Shame it's not here to fucking help us.
So I don't actually have any idea where to start with this.
The next thing is definitely to slip that serpentine belt off. So yeah, go ahead and yank the belt off, and then you'll be on track.
He said just yank it off, so do I just pull it off? Is that how this works?
As fun as it might sound to just go full Hulk on it, there's a little tensioner pulley you just need to rotate to release that belt tension.
Okay. Yeah, no, we don't just yoink it off. There's a tensioner thing.
Could have told you that.
Yeah, like you'd know anything, buddy. Oh, look at that, easy as. Where did that go? Oh! Oh, fuck. So we kept putting full faith in our new mechanical mentor, but it did not take long to run into the first few missing details. Like the fact that I should have warned Yorak to not wear his Sunday best because now he's going to be rocking oil stains at a wedding that he's got on this Saturday. Now I want to quickly show you guys something that Yorak did that really pissed me off, right? I asked him to go out and get a blue screen so he could remove the background in our YouTube videos. Do you guys understand how this doesn't work? Okay, here, watch this, right? I am now just a floating hoodie. But speaking of which, these new AU hoodies are out now. There's still a couple left, so if you haven't had a chance to go grab one, this might be your last. All the hoodies come with a free sticker, collectible trading card, and access to the secret vault. But you better hurry up because we don't have many left and they won't be in the store for much longer. For those of you who aren't tight asses and have picked one up, we greatly appreciate your support because this shit wouldn't be possible without the love of you lot. You already know where to go. Links in the description, spotto.com. Don't be a tight ass. We also just released a limited number of these really cool hats. You should go buy one.
Oh, that's fuel.
From where? Why is the fuel leaking?
Because the fucking fuel lines are disconnected.
How much fuel is it gonna leak?
Why much has it got in the tank?
A lot.
Oh,
I just filled it. GPT didn't tell us anything about the fuel lines. Yeah, GPT.
Give me a glove and a zip tie.
Okay, we've got fuel lines that are leaking. How do we block those?
Fuck ChatGPT, my thumb's gonna erode from the petrol. Get me a glove and a zip tie and I'll fucking shut it off.
Oh, it stinks. Ugh. It is very fuely.
I haven't stopped the leak, but I've vastly slowed it.
Anyway, ChatGPT has done pretty well to guide us two idiots up to this point. We've listened to exactly what it said, we've disconnected everything around the engine, and we've even disconnected the gearbox from the drive shaft. And now we're just gonna pull it out and put the new one back in. It's that simple, right?
Yeah, just 2 more steps to go.
Yeah, what could go wrong? Well, lots of things. ChatGPT forgot to mention more important steps, which left fuel spraying out of the lines, gearbox oil decorating the floor, and it nearly had us destroy the wiring harness, a mistake that would have cost us hours to fix. Good thing you fucking caught on to that, because I would have just kept tugging.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, shit.
Freedom.
That's what was holding the motor in.
Just goes to show, built Ford strong. Or was it built Ford tough?
Are we still caught on something? Whoa, oh my God. This car is not starting up once we get it back in. The starter wire is absolutely stretched. Before I continue pulling, is there anything else you can see? By the looks of it, everything back here is free. Gearbox not touching anything. I'm a little worried that the shifter might scrape along the bottom. Looks like someone's already hammered the shit out of this. We are almost halfway. We're almost halfway. Yeah, you try pry that and I'll There we go. Mate, she's out.
It's all about leverage, boys.
Yeah. What?
Who was that?
You are disgusting. I hear more fluids. Is that the gearbox oil? Why don't we drain the gearbox oil?
Oh, well, at least we don't have to drain it anymore.
Oh, that's all right. It's already on the fucking floor. GPT didn't tell us that we needed to drain the gearbox. And now the oil is all over the floor.
A little fun fact for you guys watching at home. The tail shaft acts as a little fucking so I found it out the hard way before pulling them out.
And you didn't want to let us know so we...
Well, it's already all leaked out. What do you want me to do now?
Oh, for fuck's sake. I don't know how much higher we can take this thing.
Can we get much higher?
Oh, all right, you ready?
Pull. Okay, go.
Whoa!
Holy fuck.
Oh, shit. Oh, fuck! Oh my! After finally ripping out the motor and cleaning up the battlefield it left behind, we were desperate to call it a night. A few hours rest was the only chance we had to come back tomorrow with a clear head and somehow get the new engine in. The problem was that the clock was already against us. Every hour of sleep was one less hour to finish, and we'd completely overlooked the fact that there is way more to this than just dropping a new motor in. One wrong move tomorrow and Drift Bin won't make it on the track. Alrighty, so we are now officially at the 24-hour mark. I thought we were halfway there with pulling this thing out and just needing to put the next one in, but we need to get the gearbox and the clutch put on. We're about halfway on time and only a third of the way there mechanically, so not looking good. We wasted no time tearing straight into the gearbox, and that's when I learned something wild. While on a call with ChatGPT, I found out you can actually turn your camera on and show it exactly what you're working on. Could this help get back some precious time that we needed, or was this just going to distract us? How does our clutch look? How's the health of it? Do you think we need to replace it, or does that look okay?
Looks like that clutch has a bit of wear on. You can see some of the friction materials looking a little glazed and those springs have a bit of rust. Honestly, if you've got it out right now, this is the best time to replace it.
How much does it cost to replace?
For a heavy duty clutch for your AU Falcon, you're probably looking around a few $100 for a decent kit. 400 to 600 AUD.
Yeah, mate, look, that's way over budget, so we're just gonna skip that. How's this flywheel looking?
As for the flywheel, from what I can see, it actually looks pretty decent.
And how handsome does this bloke look?
I've got to say, you're looking pretty sharp there. Definitely rocking the garage look with the shades and the bucket hat.
And how do my sunnies look? What do you reckon of these?
Those two Savage shades look even better. I hear they're incredibly durable, come in tons of different colors. Even safety rated ones you can wear on the job. Code Spotto gets you 10% off with free shipping. And the link is probably in the description.
There you go, he's gone ahead and done my job for me. You go check him out. Code Spotto, don't be a tight ass. This is actually pretty bang on, this camera view. I only just figured this out. We should have been using this from the start. What do we have to do to this one?
The next thing is basically just to swap over anything else from the old engine that you need onto this one. So that could be sensors, any brackets, anything that's not already on the new engine that you need to transfer over. Once that's done, you can mount up the manual gearbox, get the clutch aligned, and basically just bolt it all together. Then you're on track to drop it back in the car.
How long do you think that'll take? Because we've only got less than 24 hours left to do this.
Under 24 hours, we can definitely make that work. You can definitely get it done within the time frame if you keep the pace up, and I'll help you along the way.
Shit, so we might be on track to actually getting this done in 24 hours.
Don't fucking jinx us.
Wow! So we followed the new set of instructions, moving everything we needed from the old engine onto the new one. Of course, there were still things AI couldn't explain, like which plug actually went where. Luckily, Yorak had brought his AU Supercab, which was also powered by an Intech, which meant we could cross-reference it like a cheat sheet. But then ChatGPT let us down once again, forgetting to mention even more critical parts we needed, almost leaving us to figure it out the hard way. Okay, now we've ran into our problem with ChatGPT. They didn't tell us to grab a spigot bearing or a clutch tool. Now, thank fuck for my good mate Pagan and checking to see how we were going and asking if we'd gotten a spigot and a clutch tool, because had we not, there's no chance this would have been in the car, ready and running for when it gets picked up. We may be pulling an all-nighter. Oh! So we're just gonna line that up.
How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
Shut up! Oh! I think that's in. All right, onto the flywheel now. Now, this part of the swap should have been the easiest, but it was hands down the worst. Even with GPT feeding us the right torque specs for the clutch and flywheel bolts, we still managed to botch it. First off, I somehow missed one of the 6 bolts entirely and then over-torqued another one to double what it needed. Then, just as we thought we were in the clear, we realized we hadn't put any Loctite on them, which meant pulling them all out before they rattled loose and turned my gearbox into a blender. Now, you'd think this would be a blessing in disguise, you know, to fix the over and under torqued bolts, but no. While editing this video, I realized I went and did the exact same thing a second time. After all that pissing around getting the engine ready for the gearbox, we then also forgot to put the fucking sandwich plate on.
What happens if I don't put it in?
Yeah, you're gonna want that sandwich plate in there for sure. The plate helps line everything up just right. Second, it helps keep debris and dirt out of the bell housing area. It's worth tossing it in.
I mean, look, listen here, right? Let's say this car doesn't go on the road very much. It's only a drift car, and our torque specs were so perfect that the dog is just so straight. Do we need to put the sandwich plate on, or can we just run without?
You can technically run without the sandwich plate.
Good enough for me, let's go.
With only a few hours until sunrise, we managed to slam everything back together in reverse. Engine going in, fluids topped up. We were running on fumes, no sleep, and no time. So we didn't really get a chance to film much while we shoved the engine back in. Everything was building up to this moment, and that's when we realized we had forgotten one crucial thing. Ladies and gentlemen, the engine is in, the oil is in, yeah, we're so tired, keep it reet, picking this up. First thing, so if this doesn't start, this was all for nothing. Where have you put the keys?
Did you leave them at home?
No, surely not. Surely the keys would be in the car here somewhere. I can leave the fucking keys at home, did I? Oh, they're on the table. False alarm! Drift bin officially isn't starting. Look, did you put the battery in?
No, did you?
I thought you did. She's alive! We did it! We fucking... It was a dab, you smacked my head.
What do you want to do?
We did it! We've It's running. It's working. Oh, shit. Is it misfiring? After about an hour of diagnosing, we figured out 2 of the cylinders were not getting any spark, but thankfully, it was only the new engine's coil pack which we were just able to swap out for the old one. But of course, that was only problem number 1. The next morning, I walked in to find the heater core had exploded. Coolant was everywhere, behind the dash, all over the floor, and the tow truck, it was already on its way. I had minutes, literal minutes, to sprint down to the shops, grab a hose bar, bypass the heater core, and dump in some fresh coolant. And somehow, on only a few hours sleep, I just pulled it off. Tow truck arrived, drift bin started up, and drove up the ramp under her own power. For a moment, everything was looking good, until I got this text message. Drift bin had leaked half of its oil all over the tow truck as soon as it hit Calder Park. Turns out I had doomed myself before the swap even began. Back when I was filming the intro, I tied a dodgy knot to lift up the engine onto the crane and managed to drop it onto the concrete. It only fell about 20 centimeters, but it was just enough to crack a chunk off this block, which I didn't really think much of, but also just enough to crack the sump. I had ignored the signs of oil leaking all over the stand, thinking it was just a loose sump plug. From the very start, we were destined to fail. But thankfully, I was in luck. Ladies and gentlemen, we have finally made it over to Friday Night Drift, and surprisingly enough, Drift Bin has made it here in one piece with the engine and an oil leak. So I've had to get my mates and they have sealed up the bottom, and I think I've cracked the sump. So now the motor's coming back out again, but all the more reason to boost it, right? We're gonna be getting this out on track. Whether it blows up or not, I don't care. So let's run it. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the new engine swap for Drift Bin. Another intake! Yeah! There it is. We need to move back, guys. Over this way. Who wants to see some flames? Yeah! Let's go! Yeah! Whoa, whoa! We're all good! I'm on the verge of passing out, but we are finally getting Drift Bin on the track with 20 minutes till they shut it. Meet and greets, flame show, all that's done. I don't care if it explodes, I don't care if we hit a wall. We just need to get this on the track. My first ever engine swap completed in just 48 hours, and it was all for this. We're on it, boys! We're on the track!
Handbrake? Yep, too late.
Oh, can't drift very well. I had to get this right, but the lack of sleep, minimal drifting experience, and sheer nerves were really starting to get to me. But after everything we've gone through in the last 48 hours, I wasn't gonna let it be for nothing.
Power, power, power. Yeah, let's go! Ready? Punch, handbrake. Power, power, power. Handbrake. Power, power, power. Let's go.
And with that, we conquered our first drift track. Now this has easily been the most difficult video I have had to put together to date. Doing my first engine swap in 48 hours with everything that went wrong, 3 hours sleep, and then getting it out on track with minimal drift experience and somehow pulling it off. It was a lot. Now this is not the end of Drift Bin yet. Because the sump is cracked, only more excuses to get the sump out, get a bung welded on oil return line, and get a turbo in the dog. A big thanks for Giraffe Tools for sending out the wall-mounted pressure washer and this wall-mounted vacuum that I just haven't hung up yet. I've used their stuff for a while now. Awesome little things to have in the garage. If you want to check them out, link is in the description. Code Spotto, save yourself some cash. If you're not subscribed, make sure you are so you don't miss out. Lots more to come. See you next time.